What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. As you can see, we're over here at Wheaties Performance with my 2024 Road Glide up on the lift. I'm starting this video midway into the build. Yes, we are putting on a turbocharger from Silber Turbos. I'll put a link in the description on exactly what turbo kit I went with. And stay tuned, I'm gonna walk you through every step of installing this turbo kit on a new 2024 Road Glide. So here we have the box from Silber Turbos. Everything came in one box. Over here we have a Garrett turbo. You can get two different turbochargers with his kit. I decided to go with the Garrett. Garrett is a name brand. I'd rather go with a name brand turbo on the bike than an off brand. So yeah, we went with the Garrett turbo. There's a turbo there. It's huge, guys. Look how big this thing is. I'm actually shocked at how big this turbo is for a motorcycle application. But we got the turbo there. We got the air filter for the turbo here. We've got the Turbo Smart wastegate here, and I'll open all these up and show you guys here in a minute what everything looks like. But we got the wastegate there, and then we have all the piping basically from the turbo back to the muffler. We have your charge tube that goes to your intake plenum from the turbo to the intake, your exhaust mount here, and the other parts are either buried in here. It's a muffler and heat shields under there as well. And the other parts are up here on the lift. All right, so right here we have our exhaust header here. This is the header pipe that bolts up to the motor, and then the turbo will mount right here. We have our O2 sensors that come in the ThunderMax. This bike will be tuned on a ThunderMax right here. You can order the kit with a ThunderMax or an Impact Wiring Solutions ECU. And I went with ThunderMax just because I'm more familiar with ThunderMax and it's more user-friendly. You have to really be like a tuner to mess with the Impact Wiring Solutions, where the ThunderMax, the software that you use is very easy and user-friendly. So that's why I went with the ThunderMax. Also, his shop bike that he developed this kit on was tuned on a ThunderMax. So he has that tune-up loaded into this already for me. So basically, this bike will already be tuned because the map is already loaded into this ECU. I still am gonna get the bike dyno tuned, probably down when I go down to Florida for Daytona Bike Week, and have George at All American Cycle tune it as well, just to make sure that everything's kosher and just to see what kind of power we can get out of this thing. But that's why I went with the ThunderMax. And then also, like I mentioned, you can either get a Garrett turbo, or I forget the other name, I'll put it up here on the screen, the other turbo you can get with his kit. But moving on here, we have a new map sensor from Bosch. So we got to install that. Give your exhaust gaskets and nuts. It gives you 12-point nuts in the kit. We have our O2 sensors over here, like I mentioned. These come with the ThunderMax, so when you order a ThunderMax, you get O2 sensors. You got your oil line, your oil feed line, your oil return line, your exhaust tip. Check out this powder coat, guys. He was able to keep the Silber Turbos logo in the tip, and he also didn't powder coat the center, but he taped all that off. Check that out. Shout out to my powder coater. I'll put his Instagram up here on the screen. If you guys want any powder coating done and you're in the Metro Detroit area, make sure you hit him up on Instagram. Also, we have a boost line here. We have the floorboard extensions here. This is the map sensor adapter, converting it from a 3-bar to a 4-bar. We have our V-bang clamps and hardware, and we have our 550cc injectors. Now, I don't know what these equate to in grams, but they say 550 cc's, so I'm not used to that. I'm used to like a 5.5, 6.2, 8.2 injector, but these are the injectors that he includes in the kit. Shout out to Santoro Fabworx for sending me an anodized blue bolt kit for the 24 Road Glide to match all the blue accents I'm doing on this bike. So this is their bolt kit that covers literally everything. You have your primary cover bolts, your derby cover bolts, cam chest cover, lifter blocks, transmission side and clutch actuator cover, the transmission lid, the hand controls, the trap door, and the rocker boxes. So their kit literally supplies you with all the bolts, and what's nice about their kit is they label each one, so you don't have to fish and find out which one's for what. It's all labeled right here for you guys. So again, huge shout out to Santoro Fabworx for sending me this kit. I have this same kit on Gold Digger, obviously with the gold collars. These ones are blue to match the blue theme we're going with here on this bike. But yeah, cannot wait to get these on the bike and show you guys what they look like. So as you guys can see, we got the bike up on the lift. Dave started this project before I could get over here today. He started while I was at work. So basically what he's done so far is he's pulled the tank off, pulled the upper rocker boxes off, because I had my lower rocker boxes powder coated in blue. Check these out, guys. Look at this blue that I went with. It's called Pika Blue, is the powder color. And my powder coater knocked it out of the park with those. He also powder coated a few more pieces to the puzzle. This here is the exhaust tip for the muffler for the turbo kit. And I'll go over on the other side and show you the tappet covers and the push rod tubes he also powder coated. But anyway, that's why the bike's all tore apart right now. So another thing I did before we put the turbo kit on is I had Dave install the Screaming Eagle 511 camshaft in the bike. The reason I went with the 511 cam is because I was talking to Justin at Silber Turbos, and he said that is the cam that they like to run with this turbo kit. That is also the cam that they have in their shop bike, their R&D bike that they developed this turbo kit on. So I wanted to go with the exact cam that they ran. That way I know it runs good and it will perform well. So that's why I threw the Screaming Eagle 511 cam. Also, with a turbo application, you don't want a high lift or a long duration cam. So the cams we've been putting in these M8s from George at All American Cycle, the 520 lift cams, would be a little bit too aggressive for a turbo application. So that's why I went with the 511 cam in this one. So while I had all that apart, I had my powder coater powder coat the lower rocker boxes, the tappet covers, and the cuffs for the push rods. Check out that blue, guys. It's called Pika Blue, if you guys were wondering. So Dave's just buttoning up the lower rocker boxes now. We're getting ready to put the upper rocker boxes on and basically bolt up the valve train and get that all done and ready to go. And then we'll be ready to mount up the exhaust header pipe for the turbo and just start getting after it, guys. All right, guys, so Dave got the motor all buttoned up, got the push rods adjusted, got the tappet covers on there, and the upper rocker box covers all bolted on with the new Santoro Fabworx bolt kit. Check that out, guys. How sick does that look? Comment down below, let me know your thoughts. They really give the motor that extra bling, you know what I'm saying? Now we're getting ready to install the turbo kit, which the first step to that is to mount the header pipe. But first we had to install the oil pickup line. Silber Turbos provides you with this oil fitting here, and you have two plugs, if you will, right here. You undo this top plug and put this fitting in there, and then that's your oil line to your turbo. And then we also have a oil return line going to the new cam cover, which is currently at powder coat, because when you order a Silber turbo kit, it comes with a flat black timing cover, and I wanted gloss black to make it look like factory. So that's currently at powder coat. So I'll pick the camera back up tomorrow when we get ready to install the turbo kit on the bike, and you'll see the gloss black timing cover where the oil return line goes into the front of that. So basically we're at a standstill for tonight. We got the motor all buttoned up, it's ready to go, ready for the turbo kit to get bolted on. We got the exhaust bracket mounted to the bottom of the trans here. And then moving on over here, I added the Santoro Fabworx bolt kit to the primary here and my derby cover. Looks killer on there. Once again, shout out to Santoro Fabworx. Really makes the engine pop. I also have a Santoro Fabworx shift linkage coming. It's not here yet, so I'll have to put that in the next video. But yeah, I got everything all bolted up back to how it was from the factory. Can't even tell that we took the top of the motor apart. So got everything back together. Now we're ready to bolt the turbo kit on, and I'll pick the camera back up tomorrow when we get back in the garage. Another thing Dave did is he installed the ThunderMax ECU and ran all of the cables for the ThunderMax, all the O2 sensors and everything, ran them all up through the frame and tucked everything away so you can't see anything. And basically your factory wiring harness just plugs right into this. So here's the stock Delphi ECU. The ThunderMax just literally replaces it and fits in the stock spot, so you don't have to modify anything. It literally pops right in there. The wiring harness just clips in there, and then you wire your O2 sensors to the header pipe. So he already did that. The tune is already loaded up in there from Silber Turbo, so when you order a kit from him and you order a ThunderMax, the tune already comes loaded on there. So this is literally a plug and play install, guys. So pick the camera back up tomorrow when I come back over here to install the header pipe and install the turbo, the wastegate, and the muffler. Alright guys, so we went ahead and got the header pipe mounted up on the bike here. You have to put the header pipe on first, and then your O2 sensors go in second, because you cannot get this in there right. It won't seat in the head right with the O2 sensor on there, so you have to add the O2 sensors after. And I will say this front one is very hard to get to. He actually had to make a wrench for him to be able to tighten the O2 sensor down in the header pipe once it's on the bike. So yeah, we got the header pipe on the bike here, O2 sensors are in, and the header pipe is bolted down. This tab on the header pipe here bolts to the timing cover they give you in the kit. The timing cover they give you in the kit comes flat black, and I took it to my powder coater to have them powder coat it gloss black to match the other gloss black engine components here. Once again, shout out to my powder coater for hooking it up so quick for me. He does a phenomenal job on the powder coat. But header pipe is on. We're getting ready to mount the turbo up right now, and then we'll run the oil feed line and screw that onto the turbo, and then also the oil return line, which is gonna go in right here. So we're gonna go ahead and mount the turbo up next, and I'll pick the camera back up once we get it on there. All right guys, so we just got the turbo mounted up on the bike. Check that out. So the turbo mounts to the header pipe using this V-band clamp here. We have our oil feed line running up in front of the motor and gets put into the turbo right here, as you can see. And then there's also the oil return line that we have not hooked up yet. So we're gonna have to clock the turbo basically to make the exhaust pipe fit and match up to the bracket, and also for the oil return line to fit without hitting the brake pedal, because as you can see it hits the brake pedal right now. So we gotta loosen this up and clock the turbo so that all fits, and also so that the intake boot does not hit the fairing. We're gonna have to clock the cold side of the turbo counterclockwise so that we can fit the intake boot. But we got a good start on it right now, and the turbo is mounted up. Now we're mounting up the wastegate and the dump pipe, and once that's done, we'll be able to mount the exhaust pipe and get it all buttoned up, so stay tuned. All right guys, so as you can see, we got the down pipe off the turbo just sitting on there for now. It's not fully tightened up, but we got it just sitting there. We got the wastegate clocked to where we want the dump pipe coming down below the exhaust pipe, as you can see there. So everything's loose still. We haven't tightened anything up yet, but I just want to show you guys this here. This is basically the intake manifold where the charge tube goes to. Basically, that's where the air from the turbo gets sucked into the motor. This plate here comes flat black from Silber Turbos, but once again, I had my powder coater powder coat it gloss black just to match everything on the motor. So I just wanted to point that out. We're getting ready to put the lid on now. This is the lid here. Once again, that does come flat black from Silber Turbos, but I powder coated mine gloss black. So we're gonna go ahead and put that on right now. All right guys, we got everything buttoned up, ready to fire it for the first time. We got the air box all bolted up. So in the kit, they give you this rubber charge tube and you have to cut it to size. So we took about 2 inches off of it in total. Obviously, we don't want this to be a tight bend. You want the air to flow, and then you want to clear your fairing, which I have to adjust that just a little bit more. You can clock the cold side of the turbo so that the charge tube does not hit your fairing. I did take off my wind deflectors here just to kind of give us some more room, and I honestly like the way the bike looks without them. So went ahead and did that. That's all tight. Everything's tightened up, ready to fire up. Got the oil line on there, got all the V-band clamps tightened, got our wastegate tightened up. The only thing we did not do is install this boost line because it's not long enough to go from this fitting here all the way back to the wastegate. So I got to go to the hardware store and get a longer boost line. Got the wastegate dump mounted down here off the exhaust pipe, but as you guys can see, this Silber Turbo kit is a really nice kit. Definitely for the money, it's definitely sweet. I can't wait to get on it and try it and report back to you guys and let you know how it is riding it. But yeah, there it is. We're gonna get ready to start it up right now. Make sure if you guys install this yourself, make sure you wipe it down with brake clean, because this is a stainless steel pipe, so whatever fingerprints are on there, when you start it up and the pipe gets hot, it will burn in there. So make sure you guys wipe the pipe down before you start it up. So we're gonna go ahead and start it up now and see what she sounds like. This wastegate comes with a 7-pound spring. You can put a 10-pound and a 14-pound spring in this Turbo Smart wastegate. So yeah, we're gonna go ahead and start it up on the 7-pound wastegate spring and see what she sounds like. Also, this kit comes with 2 different variations: black heat shields and stainless heat shields. I did not install any heat shields on this for the first startup. I'm gonna ride it first with no heat shields and see how hot it is. If it's too hot, then I'll put the heat shields on, but I just like the way the raw stainless pipe looks over the stainless heat shields or the black heat shields. Also, one more thing, this is the end cap that comes on the muffler. It's a flat black end cap and it's got his logo there, Silber Turbos. It also comes with a billet end cap that I had powder coated to match all the blue on the motor. I'm gonna probably throw that on after we start it up, but I just wanted to let you guys know that you do get 2 end caps, a raw billet end cap and a black end cap, along with black heat shields and stainless heat shields. So I just want to put that out there. All right guys, here we go. First startup on the 2024 Road Glide with the Silber Turbo system. Let's go.
injectors are dry. Let me prime it up a little bit. I forgot we changed the injectors out.
Take two.
Call me in the morning. You ready?
Yep. Still spinning.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's good.
Hi, Grandma.
Gotta
Yeah,
get
your
that.
sewing machine's over here in Dave's garage.
Yeah,
I'll bring it home
he's
with me.
videoing the wheel, dummy. It's still spinning?
Still spinning. Hi, Grandma. Gotta get the sewing machine's over here in Dave's garage. Yeah, bring it home with videoing the wheel, dummy.
Alright guys, so we got everything bolted up and ready to take this thing back home. I will pick the camera back up once I get back home in my garage and go over more details on the turbo kit for you guys, but so far so good. Alright guys, so I just got the bike home in the garage, back from Dave's house, and man, does that turbo kit look killer on there, guys. I can't believe I own a Harley with a freaking turbo on it, guys. Like, this is insane. I don't think you guys realize how big this turbocharger actually is on the side of this thing. I've seen many road glides and street glides and Harleys rather with the Trask turbo kits, and for some reason the turbo just looks massive on this bike compared to the Trask kits. Once again, huge shout out to Silber Turbos. They make a really nice bolt-on plug-and-play kit. Once again, I'll leave a link in the description below on where you guys can pick one of these turbo kits up from. But man, the fit and finish of this turbo kit was definitely engineered the right way. I really like how the downpipe from the turbo is kind of like a oval pipe. Can you guys see how it's like flattened? And that's so that you don't burn your leg on the pipe when you're riding. If this pipe was perfectly round, it would stick out way further than it does. I mean, look at the clearance on that, guys. Look at the clearance on that pipe and look where the floorboard is. There's definitely a lot of clearance there. Once again, I did take the heat shields off the pipe just because I like the way the stainless pipe looks with no heat shields on it. I am gonna test it out in Daytona and see how hot it is. If it's too hot, I will throw the heat shields back on it. What's nice with Silber Turbos is they give you two sets of heat shields. They give you a stainless heat shield and a black heat shield for all the pipes. So there's a heat shield that goes here, there's a heat shield that goes here on the wastegate dump, and then there's a heat shield that goes here on the downpipe from the turbo. If I do end up running a heat shield, that's probably the one I'm gonna have to run, just so that I don't burn my pant leg on this nice stainless pipe. But anyway, I just wanna go over a few things with this kit. If you guys are interested in buying one of these kits for your bike, I just wanna go over a few things that we ran into when installing this kit over at Wheaties Performance. Overall, very satisfied with this kit. It is a plug and play bolt-on kit as advertised. However, there's just a few things that I would recommend doing just to save you some trouble in the long run. So first things first, your clutch cable on your 2021 and up bikes are back to a cable, not hydraulic. So some of you may know that the clutch cable runs down the frame, right? It has a plastic housing, and that's where you adjust your clutch cable tension. I don't know if you guys can see in here, but it's very close to the header pipe. So what I did for now is I zip tied it to the crash bar here to kind of pull it forward to kind of keep it away from the header pipe, because that header pipe on the turbo gets really hot. So for the meantime, I'm gonna zip tie it and wrap some heat wrap around the clutch cable adjustment here. But I am going to buy a billet housing, a metal housing, and a metal adjuster, because inside there is a yellow plastic adjuster, and I'm gonna convert it all to metal so that the plastic does not melt. But I just wanted to point that out. As you can see, it's really close to the header pipe. But man, look how nice his welds are on these pipes, guys. I mean, I'm very happy with the fit and finish of this turbo kit. Some of you may be wondering why I didn't put the filter on the turbo, and that's because I want to get rid of this chrome. So I'm gonna try wrapping the chrome or painting the chrome. Unfortunately, this does not come apart from the filter element itself, so I'm gonna have a hard time making it black, but I definitely don't want this chrome filter hanging off the front. I might even find a different air filter that'll work for this turbo so that I don't have to have this chrome filter on there. So that's why it's just not on there yet. But yes, he does include a filter, and I recommend running a filter if you are going to be riding it on the street at all. I know a lot of track guys run open turbo, but this is not a track bike. This is my highway bike. This is the bike I'm going to be taking long trips on, so I definitely want to run a filter on this one. Another thing I wanted to point out was, some of you may have seen this gold fitting here coming out of the turbo. In the kit, he gives you this boost line, and unfortunately, the way I have the turbo clocked, the line is not long enough to reach all the way back to the wastegate, because the fittings on the back side of this wastegate here, you won't be able to see it in the camera, but the same fittings on the back of this wastegate. And basically you run this line from this fitting up under the tank, over the motor, and down to your wastegate. And this hose is not long enough, so I have to run up to the auto parts store and get a longer hose to run, and I just haven't had time to do that because we just got home and it's midnight and nothing's open. So but I wanted to finish this video off for you guys tonight so that I could get it out there and get it posted. But yeah, those are pretty much the only concerns I have with this turbo kit. I just wanted to point out the few things that I noticed that you might want to look out for if you guys install one of these kits yourself. But if you've ever done a cam job or anything of that nature, putting this turbo kit on your bike is honestly not that hard. If you're going to be just bolting on a Silber turbo kit without doing a cam job, you could honestly do this with a few simple tools in your garage. Like it really was not that hard. He provides you with some detailed instructions on how to install it, and as long as you follow those instructions in the right order, you will have no problem installing one of these turbo kits on your Harley. The way he engineered this dump pipe off the wastegate, this is where you bleed off boost, right? And it dumps out. If you see on like turbo cars when they get up on the two-step and they're banging it, pow, 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 it's shooting flames out. Well, it shoots flames out this pipe here. And what I like about it is he has it cut on an angle so that the exhaust goes back and not to the side or to the front of the bike. So it just looks really clean, and I'm really happy with the way this turbo kit looks on my 24 Road Glide. Threw the blue tip on there just to see how I liked it and to see how it matched with all the Santoro Fabworx bolt kit and all my blue engine components. Believe it or not, guys, this color here, Pika Blue, is the same color as my lower rockers, pushrod collars, and tappet covers. But since he powder coated over chrome, they turned out a little bit darker on the chrome pieces instead of that anodized look like on the Santoro Fabworx bolt kit. But anyway, stay tuned, guys. I have some major cosmetic changes coming to my 24 here soon. I'm going to be unveiling them here in the next couple videos, so stay tuned, guys. You're not going to miss it. There is more blue coming to the bike to go with this end cap. So I know a lot of you guys are wondering, why would you go with a blue end cap? Just stay tuned, guys. You'll understand why here in the next couple videos. What do you guys think? Should I powder coat the cold side of the turbo the same color as the exhaust tip, that Pika Blue? Should I pull that cold side of the turbo off and have it done in blue? Comment down below. Let me know your thoughts on that. I'm up in the air. I'm torn on it. I really don't know if I want to pull it apart and have that done blue, but the more I look at it with the blue tip, I feel like I need the cold side of the turbo done in blue. But I want to know your guys' thoughts, so please comment down below. Let me know your thoughts. Should I go with the blue turbo or leave it silver? The silver kind of matches the billiard gray, so I kind of gave it away there, but just to kind of give you guys a better understanding on how it's going to look once it's all finished, the wheels are not going to be stock. So keep that in mind as well when you're writing your thoughts down in the comments below. It's kind of dark over here, but I just wanted to show you this Santoro Fabworx blue shift linkage. I was not able to put that on at Dave's house because I didn't have it in time, but I went ahead and slapped that on here when I got home just to show you guys how good that shift linkage looks to match the Santoro Fabworx bolt kit I have all around the motor here. But yeah, once again, huge shout out to Santoro Fabworx, guys. They make the best looking bolt kit for your engine, hands down. Seems to be your best option for a colored bolt kit for your ride. So make sure you guys hit them up. I will leave a link to that in the description as well. I know a lot of you guys are thinking, man, I can't believe you're still rocking the stock bars on your 24. Well, that's about to change. Stay tuned for the next video, guys. I've got another big update coming on the 24, so make sure you guys stay tuned. Before I get out of here, I'm going to start the bike up with the new turbo kit. It's -7 degrees Fahrenheit out there, guys. Like, I can't make this up. You'll see once I crack the door, but I want to go ahead and give you guys one last cold start, one last startup of the Silber Turbos turbo kit on my 2024 Road Glide. So let's go ahead and do that now. I'm not kidding, guys, when I tell you it's -7 and snowing out here. Pretty quiet. You guys hear how quiet the valve train is? Huge shout out to Wheaties Performance for doing another killer hand job. Alright guys, that's going to do it for today's video. If you liked the video, make sure you hit that thumbs up button. If you're new to the channel, make sure you smash that subscribe button. I greatly appreciate all your support on the channel. Wouldn't be able to do this kind of stuff without you guys and all your support and all your views. Make sure you guys stay tuned. I have a lot of 24 content still to come before Daytona Bike Week. Once again, I will be going down to Daytona Bike Week in March. I'm actually going in February. I'm going down a little early. Going down to see George at All American Cycle. Gonna get this bad boy tuned on some E85. It's always a good time down there with George and his crew, so I can't wait to get the bike down there and tune it on E85 and do some Miami riding while I'm down there. I'm obviously going there before I go to Daytona. Yeah, lots of content coming on the 24 Road Glide. We got a whole new bar setup coming, one I've never ran before, so I'm really excited to try those out, and a few other more cosmetic mods coming before Daytona. So yeah, I'm freezing. It's literally -8 degrees outside right now, and I'm gonna go inside and warm up. So that's gonna do it for this one. As always, guys, thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace! One more thing, if you guys want some merch, I'm not wearing any right now to show you, but I'll put it up here on the screen. I've got t-shirts, hoodies, hats, snapbacks, beanie caps. I've got a ton of new merch that I just launched on my website at doworkmotorsports.com. So make sure you guys go head over there and get yourself some merch. The more merch you buy, the more things we can do to the 24 here. So I greatly appreciate all your support. I've sold a lot of merch so far and I haven't even launched my website yet. A lot of you guys have reached out to me via email or DMs on Instagram, which you're more than welcome still to do that if you don't want to get on the website. You can email me at doworkmotorsports@gmail.com or hit me up on Instagram at doworkmotorsports, all one word here. I'll put it up here on the screen. You guys can hit me up on there, send me your size, send me your address, and I'll ship you guys out some merch. But I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.